So finally, the day that everyone's been waiting for, Jack Eichel has finally been traded, and the Jack Eichel saga has come to an end. He's officially a Vegas Golden Knight. And today we're going to be discussing not only his impact on the Vegas Golden Knights once he's healthy from his operation, but also how does it affect the Buffalo Sabres moving forward with their rebuild.
By the way, welcome to the Young Guns podcast.
Oh yeah, I got so excited that I totally forgot about that. So welcome to the Young Guns podcast, number one podcast in the world concerning hockey, of course. And let's get to it.
Jack Eichel.
Wait, before you get to that,
It's a steal.
when you heard the news, where were you? And what did you think?
Okay, originally, I was like, okay. Originally, I was like, okay, it's gonna go overnight, right? I thought, okay, Wednesday night for sure. The deal's going down, right? I'm expecting it. I'm like, okay, 10:30 at night. I'm chilling in my room. I'm like, okay, it's gonna go down. Nothing happens. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to bed. I wake up 7:30 in the morning. I open Twitter, and the first thing that pops up is Darren Dreger saying, pending trade call. Jack Eichel was traded to the Vegas Golden Knights, and I just jumped out of bed and was like, what? And so I was in complete shock because I expected it. I saw it coming, but I didn't think it was going to be that early in the morning, A, and B, it was like, wow, okay, you woke up and you're like, holy shit, hockey news, what the fuck? So it was a bit all over the place.
I also woke up because of that. Well,
yeah?
Because he messaged us in the group chat.
Okay.
He's like, Eichel got traded. That's how I found out.
So
I mean, there you go. At least you're honest.
On my part, I know Luca was sending us last night that
yeah, he was
of
sending
course,
us all kinds.
this guy's
of
never off
messages.
his phone.
Hey, you gotta listen to hockey.
1:30. Yeah, we're making a video tomorrow. He's getting traded. To
Hey,
Vegas or
7:30.
Calgary.
7:30.
7:30.
So the whole process leading up to this trade, essentially, he sends us a tweet saying that Calgary and Vegas are the two front runners for Jack Eichel.
We found out today too that Carolina was in there as well.
Okay, yeah. But last night when he sent us the tweet was from Kevin Weeks, saying that Calgary and Vegas were the front runners, and Tuch on Calgary's side, Matthew Tuch, to clarify, was most likely involved in a package deal for Jack Eichel. That didn't happen, of course, because he's a Vegas Golden Knight. So during that time, I'm just trying to prepare for today's video because we had a feeling that in the next 24 hours he was going to be traded. So I'm trying to find Calgary and Vegas jersey swaps with Jack Eichel. Yep. Unfortunately, I kept on finding Vegas Golden Knight jersey swaps with Jack Eichel. So I somewhat had a feeling that, you know what, everything's amounting to that to happen. And I don't think he's going to become a Calgary Flame. He's going to become a Vegas Golden Knight. So thank God we had everything prepared on time and he got traded to Vegas. But my initial thoughts when he got traded was Alex Tuch, top 6 player in any lineup. Not a superstar caliber player, but he is a good player. Peyton Krebs. According to what I've read on his scouting report, he has the same value as Cole Caulfield and Trevor Zegers. So I don't know about that, but that's what I read.
I mean, anyways, continue with your
I'll
kind of chime in after.
I'm like, okay, a first round pick and a third round pick, but I'm like,
second
what?
Round pick.
Oh, second?
Yeah,
Okay.
second.
But,
Vegas gave a third.
Yeah, but Vegas gives a third round pick with Jack Eichel for reassurance.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why? Just treat him like you got Jack Eichel, for Christ's sakes. He's a top 20 player in the league, in my opinion. So, you know, why throw in a third round pick after you give all that? So, honestly, I think Vegas wins the deal, of course, because it's Jack Eichel, and he's be playing alongside Pacioretty and Stone once they're healthy, and they're officially a superstar team. And could they potentially be a dynasty? Yeah, I think so.
We don't even know if he could come back and play right away yet.
He's gonna be out.
We don't even know if he could play ever again.
He's getting surgery next week.
Yeah,
he's
gonna be out 4 months.
But they don't know what kind of if the surgery is gonna be like.
But they don't know what type of impact it's gonna have.
Yeah.
So it could be that they don't even get him at all. I mean,
they're hoping for after the Olympic break.
I think they will. I think they will get him, but I think it's going to be a question of how well he's going to play. That's the thing that we worry is not a question of is he going to play. I think he will play again. I think it's a question of how is he going? Is he going to be the same Jack Eichel he was, or is he going to be someone different?
Chris, show them the tweet so people have a live look of the trade.
Yeah.
So essentially, those are the pieces that got moved today in the blockbuster deal.
Okay, well, I'll give my thoughts on the trade. So listen, I look at Jack Eichel, right? And obviously, Jack Eichel, superstar player, one of the best in the league when healthy for sure. My thing is that I don't look at Buffalo's deal and say it's a bad deal. And at the beginning, I looked at it, I was like, okay, it's a pretty bad deal. But I looked at it more and I started analyzing it more, and I'm like, you know what? They actually got themselves a decent return. And the reason why is because the first round pick, hence, yes, it's top 10 protected. And if it goes to top 10 protected, the pick goes to 2023.
And that's weird,
which isn't
in my
bad.
opinion,
Why is it weird?
that it's top 10 protected.
Well, no,
you know?
because look, Vegas right now currently is out of a playoff spot, and they've got Pacioretty out, Stone out, William Karlsson out,
that's true.
and Eichel. There's no guarantees they make the playoffs, right? And Eichel being out for 4 months doesn't help that situation either. So I guess it's just to play it safe. But if they do end up getting a top 10 pick, the pick goes to 2023. The point that I'm trying to make here is I think Buffalo did a very good job here, and I'm going to tell you why. Alex Tuch, for me, 25-year-old player, 5 years left on a contract at $4.5 million. Two-way forward, can play both ends of the ice. Really, really good guy to have in your team. He's just great in every aspect. I'm a big fan of Alex Tuch. I think he's going to do a really good job in Buffalo, and I think he's going to help that team out. Peyton Krebs, for me, is that sleeper. And what I mean by sleeper is that I think people, obviously he's the main piece in the trade, but he's the type of guy that when he goes to Buffalo and becomes the young core, with the young core that they have in with Peterka and Quinn and Cousins and Owen Power eventually and whoever else comes into the fold there in Buffalo, Peyton Krebs is going to be a big part of that team. And I think Peyton Krebs is such a good prospect to have, and he's such a great player to have that I think he's going to shine in Buffalo because he's going to have the spotlight. It's going to be him. It's going to be the chance for him to prove himself, right? People are saying, oh, he's got the same value as Zegras and Caulfield. I think the value is a bit difficult to adjust with him because, yes, he was an 18th overall pick, but he's that type of guy that has top 10 talent but got drafted 18th overall because of injuries. So we'll see with Krebs, but I'm very, very happy that Buffalo got a guy like Krebs. I think it's a great move on their part. The first round pick, I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be a draft pick, so it is what it is. And the second rounder is just a sweetener. Vegas is getting a guy who's out for 4 months. Now, Jack Eichel, still one of the best players in the world currently, even if he's out because he just is. But I'm curious to see how he does when he comes back in Vegas, and we'll see how that fit turns into. But yeah, it's a good trade for both teams. I don't think there's a winner, and I don't think there's a clear-cut winner. I don't think there's a clear-cut loser. I think both teams came out of here with great returns.
I think that this trade is similar to another Vegas Golden Knights trade that they did with the Habs.
I agree. I actually
agree. When they gave up Tatar and
Suzuki,
it worked out really well for the Habs.
Yeah.
And Pacioretty worked out really well for Vegas. And I think the same thing going to happen.
Yeah.
Tuch and Peyton Krebs are going to be insane for Buffalo. And Jack Eichel is obviously going to be Jack Eichel for Vegas. So
they're also getting a first-round pick, too. It's even more.
But you know what? I think what makes the deal so intriguing, right, is that it could be one of those things where Buffalo looks back at it in 3-4 years from now and go, holy shit, we fleeced them. And
we got
fleeced.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't really make an argument now to say, oh, Buffalo, because Jack Eichel can come back and not be the same player that he was, right? And then completely struggle,
or not come back at all,
and be the $10 million player that is getting paid to do either A, nothing, or B, not being the same player that he was. So if you're Buffalo, getting Peyton Krebs already and a first round pick is already impressive enough. And then you have to go and add a guy like Alex Tuch, who, yes, he's injured right now, but when he comes back, they're getting a guy who can play on their top six.
Yeah,
I really do like the move.
They will be like $10 million over the cap. So my pick
Vegas
to be traded at the trade deadline is Riley Smith. I think his contract will be
They
moved.
need to free up about $10 million in cap space from what I read, which, I mean, they were talking about, Patrick, and I think what they're going to do.
I think Pacioretty is going to get traded.
And
too.
I think it's one of those things where
Really?
now if you're Vegas, he could be, but I think
Would you want to try out like Jack Eichel with Pacioretty?
I think they're gonna. I don't know. I don't know how Vegas is gonna go about this because we don't even know if they're gonna make the playoffs. Right? If they make the playoffs, then they may not trade anybody, and they have to move someone eventually.
You think
right?
they might wait for Jack Eichel until playoffs?
team.
That's what
push him?
some people were saying, but I doubt it. I think Jack Eichel wants to play during the regular. Jack Eichel hasn't played hockey for a year. I don't think he's gonna want to wait until after March and then going into April and then May to be like, oh, And what if Vegas isn't in the playoffs after what? You're not gonna make them play all
They have a
year.
small window to win the cup.
They do.
They
Like
do
you have
have a small
you have
window.
Pietrangelo like getting
They
up
do.
there in
Martinez,
age.
they got re-signed, but he's old too.
He's getting older as well.
Leonard's in
you
his
have,
early 30s.
Yeah, but goalies they last long.
Goalies last long,
more
yeah.
Stone and Pacioretty, like your top guys.
They have a small window to win, but at the same time, you have to see what you have with Jack. Like people are saying, oh, Vegas can be a great. Vegas is a great team, even without Jack Eichel. They were a great team. They're gonna.
They
be
always
better.
needed a center. The reason why they lost against the Montreal Canadiens
Yeah, but
is
you
they didn't
can't
have a top center.
Yes, but you
Now they have
can't-
Jack Eichel.
You can't say, I don't know.
No, William Karlsson is a good center.
Like what
He's not a
I'm trying to
top
say is, I
line
think we
center.
should wait until Eichel actually gets to Vegas before we start making assumptions as to how good Vegas is going to be.
Well, he
And
has
the
Jack Eichel.
Of course, but Jack Eichel, that's not playing for 4 months, right?
We're not playing ever again.
No, I think he's going to
Oh,
play. I
okay,
think
he
he's
will
going to play.
play.
I
He
just
will
don't think
play,
he'll.
yeah.
I don't know how good he'll be. That's the biggest concern.
Look, in my
I think he will
eyes,
play again. I just
This
don't
is
think
what
it'll.
makes this trade makes Vegas a top tier team officially. And people are complaining about Fleury, whatever. But guess what? Without moving Fleury's contract, you wouldn't be able to get a guy like Jack Eichel. Yes, the
Well, I mean,
placing Pacioretty
without
and
Stone,
on
without
the
Stone
IR
and
helps.
Pacioretty on IR, they wouldn't be able to do it either.
I mean, yeah, but like you have to take every single like event that occurred beforehand that led to this trade. So yeah, they did Fleury dirty. We always spoke about it. We all agree about that. But the big picture is you get Jack Eichel, top 20 talent in the world. So reason why I'm saying top 20 is because I feel like maybe Buffalo was holding him back, and now with a team of Las Vegas, it's going to propel him to be a top 10 player.
I think what I like about Jack Eichel, and if anyone saw his tweet today, he said
Well,
Vegas
show it,
baby,
Chris.
Vegas baby, Vegas, and to
Switch
me,
the,
that's a guy who's motivated, and he looks like he's motivated. He looks like he's prepared. He looks like he wants to come back, and obviously, nice to get the surgery and whatever. But for me, I'm a big fan of. I'm a huge fan of Jack Eichel. I like Jack Eichel a lot. I think he's done some really, really good things. In Buffalo, I think he's done some really good things in Buffalo. And the other thing that I'm like not worried about, but we've got about what $10 million in. They've got about $10 million over the cap, Vegas right now, right? They've got Stone out. They've got Pacioretty out. To me, it's a question
they
of.
pulled a Tampa.
Yeah, they pulled exact. But what I'm trying to say is they're going to eventually have to trade someone. And if you're Vegas, okay, let's say they turn it around, right? Let's say they turn it around. Come Jack Eichel's debut, they're in a playoff spot, right? Now the trade deadline's coming up. You have to move guys because you have to be over. You have to try to get over the cap, right? Or whatever. So you're not going to want to sit Eichel out because Eichel's not going to want to sit out. He's going to want to play. So now Eichel has to come back and play, right? Well, you have to move somebody. But if you're in a playoff spot, if you move Riley Smith, you're taking depth out of your lineup. You move Marcia, so you're taking depth out of your lineup. You try to move it.
Marchessault's going to move.
Right? But I
think they're going to trade Pacioretty.
I'm giving an example. The point is that
Smith's their guy.
whoever they move out of their lineup, if they're in a playoff spot, is going to hurt their depth. And playoffs, yes, you can have as many superstar players as you want, but if you don't have the depth goal scoring to put you over the top, you're not going to win, right? In the playoffs, that's why we always talk about teams wanting depth, because depth is so important because it plays a big part. And I think in Vegas they lack that.
You know what I think they're going to do?
We'll see.
I think that they might. I think if the Ford group is as good as it should be,
advertised, yeah.
I think they're gonna blow out the defense, and they're gonna try to they're gonna pull a Toronto, but with a better goalie. That's how I think it's gonna
Look,
go.
I'm gonna go back to.
I don't know, but look at Toronto, it hasn't worked. So
but they had a crap goalie.
I'm gonna go back to like the
Robin
Mark
Leonard
Stone
is sick
deal
goalie.
and the
Yeah, but
Pacioretty
Campbell's
deal
not
and
bad
everything. Okay, so in the Stone deal, you trade away a guy like Brandstrom, which could have worked on your team at a cheaper price.
yeah, but he
and
hasn't been
younger.
great in Ottawa.
Yeah,
either.
I know.
So
that
one's
okay,
not that
so
bad.
now you're missing like a top end defenseman in that case. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get your top winger Stone, but now you're missing a top end defenseman. That's why you're bringing Pietrangelo, right? So you cover your tracks there.
Yeah.
But then after, you need to move cap space. So you move what was it, Schmidt? So they get rid of Schmidt. So then they're back to being weak on defense. So then you trade for a guy.
They
like
also
Martinez,
got rid of Colin Miller too.
It wouldn't have been
Colin
bad
Miller
to keep
too.
Cody Glass too at this point.
Yeah, they got rid of him
Sick.
too.
And
For
then
Nolan Patrick,
you
who's
trade.
currently injured too.
I'm not seeing everything in order. I'm just seeing like who we place to, and then you want to get a guy like Pacioretty, so you trade a top talented Nick Suzuki, which is potentially going to be a top centerman for you.
Montreal's thanking you guys, by the way.
Yeah. So now you're lacking on the center depth. So now you bring in Jack Eichel to fill in that void. And now you're stuck with, okay, so who do I have to trade now? I have to trade a winger that I traded like top prospects that would still be on this team, but at a cheaper price and long term.
Do you want to know what's crazy? So Vegas has been in the league for 5 years now, I
Yeah,
think.
4 and a half, 5,
They have traded every single first round pick that they've had, first round pick that they've drafted. The only two left are the ones that they drafted last year, which were Brendan Brisson and Zach Dean. Besides that,
Yeah, two first round picks last year.
yeah, they had two. Oh no, they had one. They've had two. They had two a couple of years before, but they had Brendan Brisson and Zach Dean are the only two first round picks that they had that haven't been traded yet. Right, and the reason I say yet is because I'm expecting them to get traded because Vegas doesn't keep their players long.
Yeah.
So to me, that's really surprising because you're an expansion team, and obviously Vegas came in with the anticipation.
They're a win now team.
Yes, but they were an expansion team, right? And they came in with the mentality of win now. It's time. Okay, we're gonna win a Stanley
Which I'm
Cup.
pretty sure this is the first expansion team to have this mentality.
Right, and it's a bit, to me, it's like, okay, it worked out because great. They went to Stanley Cup final year one and like, okay, great. But with Vegas, it's more of a situation of, okay, we're gonna get rid of everybody. We're gonna try to win a Stanley Cup. But now, like Chris said before, their window is slowly starting to fall, right? They've got 2-3 years maybe to win a cup, and after that, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
So they go acquire guys in their mid-30s.
So I'm not saying I'm not convinced with Vegas. I think they can win a Stanley Cup. They've got the team to do it, especially with a healthy Jack Eichel, a healthy Pacioretty, a healthy Stone, and Robin Leonard, Pietrangelo, whatever. They've got a healthy team to do it. But the question becomes, if you don't win in the next 3 years, like, what happens then? Like, it's the whole situation where you're gonna have to rebuild. You're gonna have to start from scratch, whatever.
And they're gonna lose depth no matter what because once Jack.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not, and that's where the problem becomes with Vegas. They've paid these guys. They've paid the Pietrangelo.
I'm sure they thought it through.
Of course, they thought it through. But
I'm pretty sure they have a plan in place.
They probably have a list of players they're gonna try to move with big contracts.
Still, you paid Pietrangelo, you paid Shea Theodore. You're paying Pacioretty, you're paying Stone. Like
Alec Martinez.
Some of these guys are gonna have to go. Like at some point, you're gonna need to get rid of these guys.
I was actually shocked that they re-signed Alec Martinez.
He's a great defenseman
because they couldn't really afford him during that time, so they moved. Fleury,
I want
to sign him.
I want to talk about Buffalo for a second.
Okay.
Buffalo had started off really good in the NHL this season so far. They've been great.
Without their top prospects.
Yeah, and they've looked.
And now they added. So
they added. That's it. Well, Tuch's injured, so he's going to be out for a little while. But
they traded
really, honestly,
bills.
Buffalo's really done something that's impressed me a little bit. Is that they've played good hockey. And look, let's be honest. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. They're probably going to be one of the worst teams by the end of the season. Let's face it. But right now, they're playing some very good hockey. And I think for Buffalo, seeing the fact that they have all these prospects coming up, Dylan Cousins, Jack Quinn, Isaac Rosen, Luukkonen, Devin Levi, Owen Power, Peyton Krebs.
Someone's been doing their homework on Buffalo.
Is Darlene's still a prospect?
Darlene's not considered a prospect, but he's still young.
Still
he's still super young, right?
Yeah.
Darlene, Victor. They've got these guys in Buffalo.
It would have been sick to still have Ristolainen on that team. They would have been.
Yeah, but he wasn't really good defensively, and he still isn't.
Yeah.
But
he's overrated.
The point is,
he's very
good
fast.
puck moving defenseman.
He's a puck moving defenseman, but he's one of those guys where like you have to put him with like a defensive defenseman because if you don't put him with like his defensive liability, that guy's like a Shane Gostisbehere type guy. He's a good offensive guy, but defensively he's horrible. But anyway, so. The thing with Buffalo is I'm really impressed with the rookies that they have coming up, and I think like they remind me a little bit of how Ottawa and Detroit are going to be, which is they're going to rebuild for 3-4 years, and then they're going to be a really good team. And I think that they're doing the rebuild properly. Finally, Buffalo is actually doing something that looks proper. Wait, it's not done yet because we'll see. Buffalo tends to screw things up, but right now they seem to be doing the rebuild properly, and I'm very curious to see how they go. And they're doing very well. And Kevin Adams, I'm going to applaud him for this. He's done a decent job.
Definitely
so far.
Their best GM yet.
He's done a decent job so far, and I've been very impressed with the way he handled the Eichel.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, and he's handled the Eichel deal very well. He got a really good player in Peyton Krebs there, and we'll see what happens. But I like the move that Kevin Adams made there for sure, definitely.
Do you think Tuch was actually involved in a package deal?
No,
because
no chance.
There was.
I think it was all a tactic.
Forth
Negotiation tactic. You know why? Because I think what people were saying, and I kind of agree with this too. I think it was a question of, okay, we're going to release this info out that apparently Kachuk was involved in the deal, so Vegas gives more in the trade for Buffalo. I think Calgary was in it, but I think Vegas had the best offer this whole time, and Buffalo just tried to squeeze more out of them.
If anything, Sean Monahan was going the other way.
And I don't think, and I think
100%.
I would have much rather have Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuch than Sean Monahan.
Even the Hurricanes have a lot of good assets to trade away.
That would have been crazy, bro. If you would have gone to the Hurricanes, man,
I really didn't want to happen because I'm not a big fan of their team. Not because of what they did to Montreal Canadiens.
That would have
like
been
that.
nuts,
Like,
though.
I applaud them for clowning around and stuff. There's something about that culture. I don't know.
I don't know if you heard the rumor of what the Habs were offered.
There was a rumor.
When in June, or July. When was it?
What was
August. When
it wasn't. The Habs weren't
Buffalo,
offered. The Habs didn't offer it because that was never officially confirmed.
It was a rumor.
It was a rumor, but
Buffalo say because they were asking ridiculous prices, for Jack Eichel, and they weren't releasing any of the medical records and stuff, and the whole spiel.
Yeah.
We made a video on it.
You check that one out.
So it was
2 Eichel videos now.
It was two first round picks. So right off the bat, they got 2 firsts.
That was before they acquired Dvorak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before they Kotkaniemi was in that deal 100%.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't sign him.
Yeah.
And there was Norlinder and Gooley in that deal.
I think that was I don't think that rumor was accurate because I think Buffalo would have taken it.
I think it's close to what the deal
no,
was.
I heard that there was a rumor that it was Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Caden Gooley, and I think it was 2 first-round picks. That was the rumor that I heard. I think that. And
why would you not take that?
I mean, I'll be honest. If I was Montreal, bro, at the time that it was there, and knowing if Eichel would have gotten the surgery in June, that probably would have made sense because then you can have him back for October or November, and at least he'd be playing on the team now.
It's like Montreal knows how to draft, anyways.
That's it. So you have to trade for them.
Listen, Gooley and Norlinder look pretty sick. I don't know why Buffalo would refuse that.
Yeah.
Especially the way
Kotkaniemi's right now he's busting in Carolina.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, especially the way that the Habs are playing right now.
Watch me say that now. Watch me say that now. Next game, Cake scores a hat trick. Watch, it's gonna happen.
I'm just saying, I don't know. There's a lot of offers too. I think there was even the Senators. I'm surprised.
Well, he said Jack Eichel in an interview said that he thought he was going to Minnesota. That he had during the summer, he thought for sure Minnesota,
even Colorado. If you watch an interview with Elliot Freeman, and at one point he said that he thought he was going to the Colorado Avalanche. And I was listening to it today. It was about 2 minutes or something.
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
It was at his house.
And I was at his house. I was pretty disappointed with his how he decorated his.
Yeah, he's got like these
like Home Alone?
like those Italian. You know, when you go to a Hallmark, they have like those chairs with the
so uncomfortable to sit in.
That's what he has.
Yeah, he has though, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his house is not that nice. Anyways, moving on to
or like Architectural Digest.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Next episode will be dissecting every player's interior decoration inside their house.
Checking out the crib.
It's not gonna be called MTV Cribs. We call it Young Guns.
Young Guns Cribs.
By the way, Gallagher has a sick house. I don't know if you
I've seen
it like a condo or something.
Yeah, it's like a 2-floor condo.
Anyways, we're getting distracted.
But there's even the one in his hometown's nice too. There's 2. There's one in Montreal and there's one in Tawasin.
Anyways, even if we enter these people's houses, we're gonna call the cops on us.
No. What do you mean, bro? You just break into Galley's house. Who cares?
Anyways,
we got Young Guns in our house.
Moving back to what I was saying.
Young Guns.
He was saying that he was approached by Buffalo's management saying that they want to go through a rebuild process and if he was okay with it. And once he heard that, he's like, move me. I don't want to be part of this. We haven't been winning. I want to win. I'm a winner. And just move me. So I mean, also you also.
But do you blame him?
No,
right? He gets drafted. The team's already bad, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try to compete," and then they just don't compete.
They never.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do a rebuild," and Eichel's like, "Well,
but you know
what's
sad is that you got Taylor Hall. It didn't work. Jeff Skinner did insanely good. They signed him to a ridiculous contract.
Yeah, he scored 40 goals, and that was the end of that.
Completely regresses.
Yeah, but Okposo's having a good year now. Don't disrespect my guy.
Maybe they are cursed. Buffalo fans claim that the Buffalo Sabres are cursed.
They had Robin Leonard too.
They had good assets.
You know?
But everything busted. Everything. I think it was just the management.
I think Robin Leonard's mental health in Buffalo.
I think it was just the management. The coaching staff was really poor.
Well, they hired. Do you understand how crazy this is?
Ralph
Reinhardt,
Ralph Kruger,
solid guy.
Buffalo's former coach, Ralph Kruger, used to be the sporting director of Southampton. He went from soccer to hockey. That's when you know.
That's some Ted Lasso.
They put Ted Lasso. So like I was saying, he also stated that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you got me, you promised me that you were gonna build around me and stuff. We've done nothing since I've been here, and now you want to do a
Well,
rebuild
okay, I
again.
wouldn't say nothing. Getting Taylor Hall is a pretty.
He
Sick
never
Yeah,
made the
but they
playoffs
never
with
made
him.
the playoffs.
Never.
I know, but I mean, come on. Like, what else? They got him a sick winger.
Yeah, and they also had a coach that sucked.
Anyways, everything
It's true.
around Jack Eichel was crumbling. Nothing worked. It was time to move on from him. Not only that, they weren't in agreement with what type of surgery he wanted concerning implementing a disc in his back too, and they were really scared about that. And Buffalo's very controlling, as what according to what Robin Leonard stated, and what the information that came out concerning the Jack Eichel whole saga that we spoke about in the last
Yeah.
episode. Concerning Jack Eichel and the destinations that he could go to, which is actually funny because we never mentioned Vegas, because at the time
We mentioned
Pacioretty and
Calgary,
Stone,
though.
yeah, we mentioned Calgary. At the time, Pacioretty and Stone were not, they're not injured, they were still
Yeah.
playing, so they couldn't really afford him. So, do you really blame us for not including Vegas?
I'm surprised Ottawa didn't make an offer.
They're
I
shit.
thought they
They're-
would.
Like
they're-
with what they accepted, Ottawa could have made a better deal.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Ottawa
Would
was
have been
one
nice
of
for the
those
Chuck, Brady the Chuck.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, because the thing is, right, you have to think about it. So if you're Ottawa, right, now you've got a situation where you have to trade a top prospect. So what? You trade Shane Pinto, right? That's Ottawa's best prospect at the moment. So you trade him, and then what? Who
Yeah,
else
but
you-
Peyton Krebs is I would say.
Well, he's Pinto's had a good start to Ottawa, so I don't know how good he's going to become. But Pinto's like this. It's hard to value rookies, especially right now, because a lot of them, a lot of them have good starts to the NHL career. A lot of them don't, and so it's a bit of a complicated situation, right? Like Cole Caulfield now, he's in Laval. I'm sure his trade value, if the Habs they're not going to trade him, but if they do, or if they were to, his value would be lower now than it was last playoffs, right? Because of the fact that he was
Yeah.
good in the play. So
Not that low though.
no, not that, but it's gone down. If Montreal, let's say Montreal decided to trade Caulfield. Imagine they had Eichel, but if they trade Caulfield now, right? They're not. If they were to trade him in the summer, or if they were to trade him now, they're gonna get more for him in the
obviously.
summer. So
Same thing with.
right, so it's a bit of like, okay, with Krebs, I think he's gonna be a really good player in Buffalo. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be great. So that's my thoughts on the trade. To be honest, I think I don't really have much else to say besides that.
I think they both won.
I think, like I said, it's an even trade.
I mean, I think Buffalo could have gotten a little bit more, but
Look,
It's
so
not
I'm
bad.
gonna leave it out to the viewers. If there's any Buffalo fans watching this video, or Vegas fans, I want you guys to comment in the comment section below who won the deal, and look out for a potential sorry, not Dylan Larkin. I was
Dylan
getting too
Strome.
excited. Dylan Strome deal, because he's been scratched a lot this season, and even the guy from Anaheim, Comtois.
Maxim Comtois, yeah.
He's been scratched a lot too. And those are, and people, it's really hard to find a top end centerman with that type of talent. So look up for
For
those
sure.
guys potentially getting moved, since it's not really working out with their respective teams.
For sure.
And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it to anyone that may be interested in this. And we just want to conclude by saying, thank God this Jack Eichel saga has
It's
come to an
over.
end.
I'm done talking
Finally.
about this thing now.
Finally, we
I'm
can
like
move
so
on.
done listening to it. It's done. Anyways.